Hello, everyone. I think we should be live now. Yes, I think that's all working. So let's see if we are live. I'm just checking if we're also live on Instagram. Yep. So we should be live on Facebook now. And we should also be live on YouTube. But I'm still checking on Instagram if we're live. Let's see if that works, because this is the first time we're doing this. So let's see if that all works. And you're on my computer today, not on my mobile phone. Okay, some people are joining. I'm thinking it might work even on Instagram, and I hope that it does. Can you guys maybe just give me a heads up on, just give me a hi or something on Instagram? Just seeing if there's anything I need to set up for the comments. I can okay. It says it should be live for everybody. So yeah, on YouTube, somebody said, "Hey mate, it's cool," but I'm still waiting on the Instagram guys, because I'm worried kind of they're not coming on. Normally I see a lot of kind of things coming up on Instagram. I sec. Okay, so Instagram should be working too. I just don't see any comments for you guys. Maybe somebody on Instagram say just put a comment up, because in the moment the comments are not working for me. Just I just see one on Facebook and one comment on YouTube, which they're both working, but I don't see anything on Instagram, and that's a bit sad, because the Instagram guys are the guys that have most comments. Okay, so Instagram is working, but Nick, it's still saying you're on Facebook. Is that kind of, have you commented on Facebook, or what? Is that comment on Facebook or Instagram? So, hi David Turner. That's great. You're on. So let's see. Pele is on. That's that's cool. A lot of people on YouTube right now. I love it. Yeah, okay. Me, Aquakilla. So Aquakilla, can you comment? Can you just say hi to me or something on Instagram? Because I just see I have only Facebook and YouTube comments right now. Okay, so oh, that's okay. Okay, it's just ready. All right, that's kind of sad. So this is kind of not working, seems to, for the Instagram comments. Um, that's a bit sad, but I have the first question already on YouTube. So let's see. Let's see if we can work this out for Instagram somehow. I'll try to I'll answer your questions. No, don't worry. Aquario Marino. I have fluoride dosing. Yeah, that's a good question, right? That's a good question. Let me just try something. Um. Oh, okay. So I'll just put you guys on the side here, and I can possibly see your comments on. Okay, so from now on, I can see also your comments on Instagram. I'll just have it on my phone next to me, so that should work. So I'll just jump in and try to kind of sort that out, boys. So Joseph F is on. Greg Carroll is on YouTube. That's cool. Greg, how are you? Okay, guys, you can comment on both sides. I think I will have a hard time to read everything, but I'll try. Okay, so what do we have? Is it important to keep fluorine dosing in an aquarium? I will answer that in a second. People are instead. Okay, people are typing on instead. Oh yeah, that's fine. No, that is a StreamYard thing. So it's the first time we're doing this kind of multi-platform one, and that's why I'm doing it. I'll have my phone next to me. I will have a little bit of a hard time, but it's fine. So hi, saying I'm setting a new 4-foot aquarium. Your guidance recommend tank turnover of 10 times per hour. Yep, but with my return pump at maximum, I can only get 5 times. Yep, that's fine. I'll just answer that one too. So let's start with the fluoride. Yeah. Yep, that's cool. I love it. I love YouTube is working out really well. That's cool. And then I'll quickly check all the questions on that side of things. I really need to sort that out with my wait a second, I'll just jump off and try to go online with you. Sorry for this, but we need to do this. Triton Reef, and then you go on the live and then check all the need to sort that out with my quiet so I don't hear myself. All right. So fluorine. Somebody asked about fluorine. That was aquarium marino. So, well, I do not think it's that important to keep dosing fluoride to my tank. I never did it. I did it for a long time because I was the first person to measure fluoride in an aquarium and in aquariums around the world. So we did that with the HPLC 2008, and I was running my tank. And I always say that too when I'm on shows or on a talk, that I don't think it's important. It never did anything good for my tank. I've seen a lot of tanks that never really done anything, and I think what the fluoride comes from, or this big hype around fluoride were coming from, was more a sales strategy in the past. Because when we started doing HPLC and fluoride, at one point we said, well, HPLC is not really something that is good for people, and we don't want to sell it anymore. So when we stopped selling it, obviously some people said, oh, I can't test nitrate anymore and stuff. And at the same time, when we stopped, we also got competition on the market. So there were other people trying to sell fluoride or trying to sell ICPs, and then they actually got an HPLC because they copied us 100%. So they got a HPLC and an ICP, but we stopped HPLC. And out of like the history, then they advertised that they can still do fluoride while we couldn't, right? And they wanted to. This is how the way I think it came up is that they wanted to give people something that they can have more than over Triton. You know what I mean? So to sell their ICP test, and that was kind of the birth of the fluoride extreme, let's say. But I don't see that much of a difference in our. My tank is not getting any fluoride in the moment. We have fluoride always, or fluoride in the core 7. So that's because it is part of seawater, right? So we kind of continuously dosing it anyway, because it's part of seawater, and we need to keep that balance when you add the other stuff. But otherwise, I'm not a believer into the super fluoride being the whole thing mystery of reef keeping that we missed kind of on, because I tested it in the past, and yeah, it wasn't for me. So just this is my opinion. If you have another one, it's fine. You can dose it. It's not dangerous as long as you measure it and you're not overdosing it. It's not dangerous, so you can. But be objective. Like look at it not from a side of thinking that does something and then it need to happen something. Sometimes it won't, right? Like a lot of other elements too. So that's about fluoride for me. If you have any other question, Aquarium Marino, just let me know. Okay. So it is a belief thing, in my opinion. Okay, so that's yeah. No, I can because Aquakiller is going crazy. No, but it's not. Yeah. Why can't I see? I'm on there actually, but You can see. Okay, so okay. All right, I'll keep going, and then I'll try to fix Instagram somehow. So is that I can see the comments. Choosman. Hey guys, if you want, you can actually put the questions here for me. That would be easier because I still can't see them. I'm on that stream, but I can't see any comments on there too much. You know, like I don't know why. It's just a bit crazy. Anyway, and we need to sort this out because it's very important to be on Instagram for me. So what do we have? David Chosenman, can I see comments? Okay. If you guys see the comments and questions, put them up here, okay? I wonder if I explained comment made lives about sponges. Yep, and I had the other, yeah, Joseph. So Joseph, 10 times turnaround. That's quite important, okay? So if you can do 5.5 times, so look, realistically, it depends on the size of the tank and how high it's standing, okay? So we want that all the water in your system is one, like you would have the algae sitting in the main tank, but you can't do that obviously because you need to have a space for a refugium, right? So that's why we want that high turnover, because then the water is kind of always running it's kind of one big chunk of water, right? You can have less than that. It doesn't need to be exactly 10 times, but you need to understand the pump situation. So when you have a pump and it pumps the water up, then it loses the amounts of strength, let's say, as high it goes. Like it's as high it goes, right? So if you go 1 meter, you will still have 5,000 liters, but if you go 2 meters, you obviously have just like 2,000 liters per hour, whatever. It's just going down. There is this curve, right? On the spec sheet. And what we kind of try to tell you with the 10 times is if we really go from the zero amount. So if you say, okay, I have like 10,000 liters turnover, a pump that is spec 10,000 liters, then it's just on zero, right? Per hour. And then you have a 1,000-liter tank standing a meter high. That should be fine. And obviously, as bigger your tank gets, as bigger your pump gets, and the pump gets stronger. So as bigger your tank gets, as less important it is to have the 10 times. You can drop that down, right? Because you actually, if you would calculate it in detail, you would be still fine. So my tank right now, it's 17,000 liters pump on a 2,500-liter tank, and it's still fine because just 1 meter up, and then pump can pump 5 meters up, right? But a little tank, a little pump, the tank would be still 1 meter up, but the little pump would only be able to pump 2 meters high. You know what? If you understand what I'm saying, you shouldn't be. It's kind of not that important. But if you can on a 4 foot, depending on how high you have your stand, you would be able to change that, and later on make it the way that you can put a bigger pump in later on. If you have trouble, we'll see it, we'll know that it is from the turnover, and we'll be able to help you. Okay. Okay, just hopped on from. Yeah, that's cool, Mo. That's cool. Just like like if somebody could help, would be great. Maybe Aquakilla or somebody. uh Yeah, yeah. So I see that Nick is on that Instagram and he commented something. Maybe I can see them. Maybe whatever happened, just help me out, boys, and I will sort that out for next time. So, yeah, that's the same one, Greg. It is. Should I say okay? Okay. David Turner, hi. Wonder if you could explain the comment you made on live stream about sponges and elements making them go mad. Black sponge. No, it's not making them go mad. David, they produce their toxins out of bromide. And if you have more bromide, they can easier produce them. Like if you have less, they can't. So if you there is a possibility for you to have black sponge and you have really big trouble. And the way to inhibit possibly the production of toxins would be that you stop having bromide in your salt. And that's something that big aquariums, like, public aquariums, they have salt without bromide because they heavily use ozone, and ozone will cause bromide to go toxic, right? And that's why they leave it out of their salt. So realistically, if you have a big problem with stuff like that, you could reach out to us and we can help you maybe source a salt that is for public aquariums. And then you would end up not having them to produce the toxin out of bromide anymore, right? The other thing is you need to look at the bromide. You need to look at it and see if there's any issue with your bromide being too high, maybe, and that's making it definitely easier for them to produce it. But there is no going crazy. So there is no like trace element you dose, because bromide is not a trace element. There's no trace element you dose that makes them like go mad on it or something. That's different. Okay, so bromide is a macro element, it's a main element of your salt. And if you do not want to have it in your tank, which is okay, because some people do that just to avoid problems like public aquariums, you can, but you need specific salt and you need to contact us for that. Okay, so let's see. uh okay, I have a question. Focustronic, I have a question about fleece filter for the Triton method. Would you recommend it? No, I don't recommend that, because Focustronics is that way that you try to keep your refugium, and the refugium produces a lot of life for you, life forms, little plankton forms, right? And that's live food for your tank, and that works really well. Okay, so you can see that on our tank. It's awesome. They feed all the time, my fish, even, right? There is always something coming up and they can hunt it down. Um, and the same counts for coral. So if you have a filter, any kind of filter, like a filter sock or something, it will catch that life forms and kill them, because they will just die in there, right? And that's not a good way. We don't like that. It is that you have in the beginning, if you don't do that, you have a little bit of particles floating around because you don't filter them out, right? But if you wait a little bit, something will actually come up and and eat them. So there will be things created like little filtering animals that eat that stuff, and that's good for you, and that they will clean up your tank. So I remember my aquarium, the Triton 1.0, it was so clean, like you could, it was so crystal clear, and it was just like normal glass, it's just, that was crazy. It was really, really good. And you can see that getting happening in our tank now too. It's getting cleaner. um and also it helps when you don't have like gobbies and stuff, that grab your sand, like sand shifters that really shift it too much. That's helping too if you have too much clarity issues. But no filtration, much better for the Triton method. Okay. Erickson, hey, so hi Greg. He said to calls with you Insta and let you know if any questions on there. Yep, right, Nick, that would be great. So if anybody could help, that would be great. So Ethan, do you think Aquakiller. Ethan, do you think Colepa could cause slow growth in Aquapora? Yeah, I think so. It's all can happen because there is a lot of chemical warfare in a reef aquarium. It depends which Colepa you have. Taxofolia might be a bit like something that you need to look at, but I've not really seen it, Aquakiller. But it could be. It's not like I can say no, But like I say, it's a heavy chemical warfare going on in a reef. I can see that every day when I'm out here, and I always see that in a tank. Um, so it could be, if you have any issues with that, just yeah, see. Why do you ask, Luis? Just let me know, and I will try to figure out what's going on. Questions for Eric have original electronic. Greg, you say that's awesome. So Pede, no fleece filter, yes. So most time ICB came with low fluorine. Yep, that's fine. You can pop it up. It's no problem. We have fluorine. You can try it, Akamino, and you will see if it's good or not. Just be object. Just look at it, observe it in the right way. Don't expect too much. How precise is Mastertronic essential? Hey, Focustronic, you're going good. Hi, my friend. Check. No accuracy. Okay. So Mesha is on. How to remove barrier. Hey, if anybody sees Mina, um let me know. Okay. So Mina should be on at one point today too. And I looked over all his stuff. Okay, how to remove barium. AL99 measure removes barium. So you just use the phosphate remover. It should remove barium too. Okay, AL99 and you should be fine. So email me support. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Then no problem, Joseph. If you have any other questions, shoot them, mate. I'm here. What is your your psych? Okay, Lucas from Facebook. Cycling a tank for Triton method. What's your advice, please? I also don't want to a sand substrate in my main tank. No problem. No sand is it's fine. Just be careful with your RAS later on. So you need to have a bit of sand for them, Lucas, because they sleep in the sand, a lot of them. And what else is what a second? And what else is important is I would go live rock. If you have live rock or at least live macro rocks, if you have, anything in America or something, live rock is the best thing to cycle a tank. And then you don't do anything. You just put them in, you run, obviously with salt water, and then water need to be already heated up. So don't put them in cold salt water. You need to put them in heated up salt water, and then you just leave it there for 4 weeks. Like, just turn everything on like it would be a normal running aquarium, and you should be fine. That's the way we cycle our tanks, and you can look that up on our videos about the Triton 2.0 tank. We actually document everything, and it should be on YouTube, should be on Facebook, and it should also be on Insta. It's definitely on Instagram. Okay, so thank you. Joseph is asking another one. That's good. Thank you. He said another newbie question. What chamber is a sump should what chamber is what okay, what chamber in the sump should the carbon and Al99 reactor be outputted into? Refugium skimmer chamber. Skimmer chamber, mate. That's all skimmer chamber. So refugium is an own aquarium, Joseph. Its own little aquarium, and it overflows into the skimmer chamber, and then it underflows to your pump chamber. So in that chamber of the skimmer where the water overflows, there's where you actually put your you know your filters in. All your filters, your carbon and your Al99 will sit in there. Normally, if you don't have space, it goes out of there and comes in there again. Like, this is the way you should do it. Okay, so be here. I think no, it's not easier. It's just like something else to try to reach out a bit more, because some people um do not have Instagram, so go YouTube page and ask there. Okay, so Isan, do you have recommended putting spons sponsors core in your tank for filtration, or like clamps? Yes. Yeah. Diver Kevin asked a question if I recommend to put some filtering animals like clams, sponges, something into a tank and keep them there for filtration. It definitely works, So, for example, clams can take nitrate down really, really strongly, like, because they can take it from the mantle. And I said that in another live once. So they can really actively take nitrate through their mantle, and you can use that if you have a nitrate issue. But many people just put them in because they're so beautiful, which is fine. I wouldn't do sponges. I'm afraid of sponges because they are pretty, they can take quite a bit of they can produce quite a bit of toxin if they want to. So I'm not too happy with sponges. Even they're looking really iconic. There are really good sponges out there, that. But I'm not too happy with them. Be careful with them. Otherwise, I think a lot of filtration animals will just appear out of your live rock, like little what are called, pineapple sponges and stuff. So I wouldn't really, except, yeah, the clams. I really like clams. So I'm definitely really into clams, so I would definitely put a clam in there if I could. If you guys would. Okay, so what do you have else? Um, can just can now I'm not born. I'm still on there, Greg. It just didn't work with that comments. That's the only thing, Greg. Don't push me out, Greg. Don't push me out. Thank. I'll skip. Okay. Okay, thanks. I'll skip it for the new build then. Oh yeah, that because Focus Running's gone Triton tank. So I asked because I've been experiencing really slow growth lately. Yeah, it could be. It could be, Luis. But I'm, collab. I don't know. It's have a look at other things too, like what else is happening. Maybe even temperature causes a lot of things too. Um, if 1 degree of temperature changes some stuff too sometimes. Um, check everything one more time. Check if the alkalinity is correct. Sometimes that's a point. Just make sure everything is correct. I know you probably have done that already, but I was saying that for other people that possibly would have the same issue. Um, and just look at it a bit longer. Observe. I wouldn't do too much because normally sometimes they have like a bit of a slower growth. You can't really know everything about corals, right? And I don't do. Um, and overreacting would be a bit of a problem there more than you would not react and just wait a little bit. That's maybe also a thing. And yeah, is it that your dosage is gone back? Like, do you need to dose less? That's another question that I have for you because that would be a sign for really lower growth, right? Um, so, okay, Isan, I heard someone questioning the accuracy of the ICP test, given that it can take days to arrive at the lab and then days to receive results. Can you explain how the ICP test stay relative? Yeah. So we have done a lot of tests with that, and we still try, Nick, to be very, very quick. That's why we put machines around the world, right? So we actually try to put a machine into every country so everybody can have a quick ICP turnaround, right? While not for every country is really working out for us because obviously you need a lot of people in that countries, but that's the way we do it. We also in America have a faster test now, so it's coming on the market, and you can buy that, and because that's just shipping takes so long sometimes in America. Um, but we know the issue of people want to have their testing fast, and there is also something to it, or several positives if you get your test results fast. But it doesn't mean that it won't work if you have a slower test result, right? And that's because the ICP atomize your sample. So what happens is your ICP results are atomized results. So your water is not staying water. It will be destroyed, absolutely destroyed into its atoms. And everything that is in it will be destroyed into its atoms too. And then it will get measured, right? So you can see that it doesn't really matter how long it's on the way, it will not change that much. There are some elements that will change. So there are some elements like phosphate that possibly get eaten up by bacteria and lower down. It's very rare, but that can happen. Um, and then the bacteria will be filtered out before it reaches, it just sticks on a glass or something before it reaches the machine. But that's very, very rare. Like I would say under 1% of cases will have lower phosphates because of that. And there need to be a lot of organic carbon in that vial. Um, and we have done testing. I've frozen the sample, for example, too, like because people are afraid that we wouldn't measure the calcium if it is frozen before when they send it from Canada. And I frozen samples with liquid nitrogen to under like to absolute zero, and then came out and we tested it afterwards, was the same. So this stuff is not really affecting it. um any external things don't affect it. It's more like tin can glue to the walls. Like some elements have specific um let's say yeah, abilities, and that will cause a little bit of trouble, but that's not the main thing. The main thing where you need to look at usability of your test results when you test ICP is that your tank will change. So, we measure trace elements. So trace elements can be very quickly added to your tank. It really, if you just feed some one time, then that your phosphate can go up, right? So things like that are more affecting your usability. So when you ship your test result, then your tank water changes over that time. So you will receive your results, which are then 2 weeks older, and that's more of an issue than the test results being in the lab accurate or not, or you know what I mean, like that other little things, and that's why we want that fast. We want them faster for you because first, this is the case, so your water will change, but not that much. And the other way, it would be much better because if you have a problem, you want the results faster and to be acting faster. So that's the points where it makes sense to get them faster. So faster results definitely better. It's not about the accuracy of the machine or something. It's more about practical usage. And if you go lower than 1 microgram, and that's kind of MS sector, then this is getting worse. So it's really not usable also of MS because of that, because the elements change way too quick in that low amounts too. So 1 day is enough to make that have a change. It's kind of that's the same thing. Okay, so yes, consumption has decreased. So yeah, then something is going on. Maybe take the collerpa out, Luis, if you have that feeling. I can't really help you there, because I'm not sitting in front of the tank, but I would recommend you to kind of do that. Just get that collerpa out if you have that feeling that this is causing an issue, because they definitely can. So I use natural seawater. How combined with Triton? I use natural seawater too. Uh, Lian Edge. I do it too. I hope I spelled your name right, man. Um, Lucas, no problem. So yeah. So what do you mean? How combine with Triton? That's very easy. You just run your tank natural seawater, and if you need to do a water change, you do natural seawater water change. That's it. That's what I would do if I need one. So that's the way it works. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh yeah, Mesha, thank you. That's great. So Joseph, when starting a new tank at that point, would you turn on the refugium light and put Cheeto in a new tank that's cycling? Would you start it after the cycle has come? No, I would start it right away. Yeah, put the Cheeto in, like to give it a week or something. If you have using live rock, just give it a week, and then you put Cheto Morpha in. Hey, I can see Ricardo is on that other one. So but yeah, I can still see Instagram. The people are commenting more on here, which is much appreciated because making it much easier. Ricardo, if you have any questions, maybe jump on YouTube and ask there, just to make sure I don't miss your question. So Özil is asking, hi Isan, hello everyone. I would to ask you, can light be an issue? I've got very strong light radiance at 100% and four times T5, nutrients at 0, and now when I have lower radiance 100 to 3% cores at 0, and now okay. So Özil, okay, recover cores. How do you deal with nutrients? That level do you maintain in your tank? Okay, so my levels are super low because my habitat is the outer reef, and my filtration is very big. So I'm trying to simulate the edge of the reef, right, where it drops 500 meters deep and there is nearly nothing in there. So it's quite deserty kind of environment. And I always kept my nutrients low because it causes the corals to be kind of happier and have less stress. Because corals are stressed by competition, and competition for them is like things that live from nutrients, like algae and bacteria. They cause them to have a bit of competition. So low nutrients definitely better. That's proven in a scientific way too. So there's papers about it. We call that the the passive pressure. So a habitat will get passive pressure when the nutrients go up. It's not like the corals don't like it. They like it. They like higher nutrients because making it easier for them to survive. But they get brown. But the passive pressure is what hurts them. So all the stuff around them that get the extra nutrients will, will fight with them for the space, and that's the problem. High amounts of light, I don't see an issue because your light amount is not anything near what they get in seawater. But there is issues sometimes where the nanometers or something is kind of not exactly matching, or something that, because it's artificial light, it's not sunlight, so it's still, there is a difference. If you can see that if you run them lower, it's better, or they have a better color, you can do that. There is no issue, in my opinion. I have a lot of light over my tank, like a massive amount. I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen it, Ozil. You can jump on and check the videos out and stuff. I have 21 units of the X-Force over my tank, and that's a lot of light. So I have 1,000 a par, 1,200 par on the surface or something, and then when you measure on the bottom, it's still 700 par. So it's quite a bit. But again, I am keeping corals from that high regions where they get a lot of light, So it depends on the coral definitely too, Brazil. Okay, so there's a lot of things I can tell you now. If you can kind of specify what you're keeping a bit, I can help you a bit more. Okay, so okay, my thinking is ICP is that we're using ICP to guide our dosing behavior and methods to align them with the demands of the tank, rather than randomly hitting numbers provided by the ICP. That's correct, Nick. This is a tool, right? And it is also a tool that can be very well used, even if it's a bit expensive for that. But it can be used to kind of look at trends, because trends are somehow very important too, and ICP can be used for that very, very well, right? So if you're looking at things again, like, it's a tool. So when you need to see it that way too. It's not, it can fail. There is a lot of things that we do to secure quality, but there can still be something that is not right with an ICP. And if you would do a droplet test, for example, or a HANA checker test, and then your HANA checker says all of a sudden you have 5,000 phosphate in your tank, then you would test again, right? You would look at it and say, oh, okay, that's not. And if something like that happens in our ICP, you do that too. You come to us, you ask us, you say like, hey, guys, is that correct? And then, somebody can look at it. Me, obviously, I can look at it and I can see, hey, is there maybe something that I would say, maybe we do the retest on that sample. And we did that. We do that all the time, like, so it's, yeah, it is a tool at the end. And exactly like water change, exactly like your droplet test, exactly like your HANA checker, exactly like your skimmer. It's a tool and it can fail and you need to be careful with it. But it is a very, very professional tool. So yeah, it works now. I mean, it was my idea and I brought it to the industry, but I've proven it to work over the last years, since 2008. And it's just like, if it wouldn't work for people, we wouldn't be here now. It is just the overestimation of people sometimes that makes them go frustrated with something. If you want to dial in your zinc to 0.1, that's not working with any ICP. It is just a practical, not possible thing. That and if you try that, you will get frustrated. Okay, so hi, mate. Ryan, hey Ryan. Yeah, that's good. It's good that I can see your names though. Some of you Nick is still reefing by design, but it's okay. I hope you're keeping well. Thank growing away. Will post a video soon. Okay, mate. Competition is on, Ryan. Competition is on. Thank you. No worries, Ozil. Again, Ozil, if you have any other questions, just shoot them. I don't have a problem. I'm here for that, right? Um, what's the benefits from fluoride? Ryan, I just said that before. I don't see too many benefits. A lot of people say, their aquaporas look better and stuff. I've not seen that with me for my tank, but it's a belief thing. You know what? Try it. Just try it and see if that's working for you. It's the same thing like vanadium. You know, people try it and then see if it's good or not. And vanadium, in my opinion, works really well. So I dose it in my tank, um, and then they keep going. And if not, then why do you want to waste it? It's also like not every coral like every trace element, right? So it depends on which coral you're keeping, um, very much too. You know, so if you're keeping a coral that really likes fluoride, and maybe I didn't had or never had that coral, you know, and that's why I'm not dosing fluoride. But if you have a coral that maybe really likes it, I don't know, you know, then you would obviously need it. So the best thing is you try it and see over maybe 1 or 2 months if you see an effect on your tank that is good, and then you keep going if it is a good thing, you know. But literally nobody in the world, I will be possibly the closest guy to do that, but nobody in the world can tell you which coral need exactly which elements. That's something you can try, and you are empowered by the ICP and by the testing to not overdose. Just have that in mind. Okay, so I think one thing that people sometimes overestimate is, you know, yeah, I got the idea with the ICP, I bought it, but why did I bring it to the industry? I bring it to the industry, I brought it to the industry because I wanted you to have visibility of what you're doing. So I wanted you to exactly or I wanted to find out exactly which coral. Actually, I wanted, but my dad said no, that's stupid. But I wanted to find out what corals need, but like that's secondary. First was not blind dosing stuff into your tank anymore. So right now, what you can do is you can test all the elements. You can go up with zinc, you can go up with vanadium, and then see if that's working on you. And you can see that you're not overdosing them, because that's the issue, right? And you can do that with fluoride too. That's absolutely okay, you know. Um, Good morning, sunshine. Maria, how are you? That's cool. Shoot me some questions, Maria. Shoot me some questions from South Australia. It's so cold here, Maria. It's like 13 degrees. I'm sitting here with a jumper. Then I want to tell you all, like 13 degrees in Cairns. That's very close to a blizzard for us. So okay, which concentration you consider aluminium problematic? Everything over 120 micrograms. I think it's not problematic in the case of being deadly in that moment, but I believe it is a long-term toxic element. So over a long time, having a high aluminium over that amount, I think is not good for your animals. Um, and that's something that you know from the odorants and stuff like that. You know, they try to keep the aluminium out of it because, again, for humans, over long term, it could have a bad effect. Yeah. So 120 for aluminium measure. Joseph has another question. I'm using dry rock in a display tank and some small pieces of live rock in refugium. Is it also worth adding copper pots to help with the new tank cycle? Copper pots are pretty good. Yep, you can do that. Definitely. There's no problem with that, Joseph. Do that. A lot of people do that. I think in Brazil too, they do it too. So that's absolutely cool, you know. Um, Great explanation. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. It's always good to hear something positive. so, so yeah, no problem, Joseph. Put the copper pots in. No problem at all. I understand the idea of keeping nutrients low, but we have to feed corals somehow. So is this refugium role on Triton method right? Yes. I try to understand exactly what you're saying, Ozil, but yes, I think the refugium feeds your tank. But listen, you don't need to feed corals that much, right? So be careful with that. Like, corals are not dogs or cats. Corals need light. They need light to survive, and they need some nutrients to make the photosynthesis kind of work, and that's amount of nutrients they need are very low. You know, that's the point of them being having that habitat. They created kind of their own little niche where they can live without any competition, just with other corals, right? So that's what you see on the Great Barrier Reef and on the reef. So it's low nutrient, and that's so low that normally algae have a hard time. They can't live there. It's too low for them. And they have a lot of kind of things they eat them. So it's very bad situation for algae, but it's very good for corals, you know. So that's kind of what you try to achieve. Um, and yes, you can feed them. You can use foods. You can also use a little bit of nutrient if you want. I know that Louise, for example, does that, and I'm doing it right now. So, you know, biobase, for example, is something you can dose. You can use NH alpha and O beta. You can use all these things if you want. Um, but you can also just add fish if you want. You can also just add a lot of fish, and then that's going to be a good cycle for your tank. You know, just to let you know, Özil, it's not if you have only corals, yes, but if you have fish and you add some more fish, even better. Okay, I'm going to leave the Colerpa for a while and see how things go. The color and overall health of the tank looks outstanding. Just slow down on growth. Yeah, I would, Louis, I would too. I wouldn't do too much, you know. It is, but a bit alarming. So you're right. You always watch out now because if it goes back more, then you need to look at it, you know. But yeah, for now, you're in contact with us anyway. Might just let me know next week or give me a call in the week, you know, and we'll see. So, do you recommend bringing zinc up to the set point? Um, yes, kind of yes. You don't need to go up to the set point. You just can dose it, and you will see. Normally, you see the effect very quickly. Um, it's a very good element to dose for Acropora. Very good zinc. The set point itself is like a high point, so it's actually quite high. You know, it's a security kind of thing. It doesn't hurt anything. Um, but that set point is a higher one for people that really run into issues. If you dose it every day, though, you don't need to hit the set point, Echo Killer. So you can even half the dose and just run it half if you want. It's no issue there, right? Just keep it available. That's the point. Um, yeah, yeah, Ryan. Competition's still on, man. So for lifetime, it's a lifetime competition, right? It's lifetime. It will end when we drink that beer, mate. When we drink the Guinness together. Okay, it's good. Mm. It's so cold, Ryan. Here, it's unbelievable. I'm dying. So as Lucas, as follow up to Joseph's question about live rock in a sump and dry in a main tank, is sand substrate in a refugium an option or no? No, Lucas, no sand in the refugium. Never. That's causing you a bit of trouble because it will kind of be one big cluster with all the detritus and stuff, and you don't want that. You don't want to have any sand in that refugium. Okay, don't do that. In a tank, it's okay, but not in the refugium. Okay, so just don't do that. That's going to be problematic. Okay. Okay, how to keep Malaysian Speciosa happy? Oh my god, man. I think nobody knows. Um, it's a bit of a Kenty, bit of a tenuous Kenty kind of coral. Same with Acropora echinata. You know, I think they're very similar, echinata and Speciosa. So in my opinion, I had even a Speciosa in my old tank once, and I didn't know it was a Speciosa. So just to let you know, it's like in the past there was nobody talking about Speciosa, but realistically, a lot of things can go wrong with these corals. It's exactly like the Echinata. So you know the Ice Fire one or whatever, Red Dragon. So it's just a bit of a try and error, and you need to, I keep them actually in quite a bit of light, so I don't have an issue with light. Do not do not never bath them in anything. So you can't do that. They will have a trouble with that. Um so don't do that. Don't bath your Speciosa, Echinara, Lori paste. Don't do that. Don't give them like don't dip them right before you put them in, because I have always a bad outcome when I do that. But otherwise, you put them in. I keep them lower, but in light. That's what I do. So I keep them low in a low segment, but with lower, like lower kind of, but still not shaded. you know, not like you would put an LPS. And they still have light, quite a good amount of light. My Echinata has a really good amount of light, but it's lower. And then I put them in an area where there is a constant flow kind of running, yeah, either like from the bottom up, or yeah, how do I explain that? It's because they grow like a tree, you know, and I have the feeling that the water need to flow for them, kind of run into all the. It's like a little net they built, you know. So yeah, I have a suction area that sucks water into like a little slope, and that's where I make a video about it, and I can explain to you. I think stuff like that is important. The same thing for Kenti, for tenuis, that people also still use just randomly, you know. Um it's the same thing. If there's, I don't think it's a specific trace element. You need to keep everything really well, you know, like you need to be a bit more advanced, let's say that. Measure, keep things chemically nice, and you know, on spot. Don't have fluctuations in DKH, like in alkalinity and stuff. Like keep that main base of a very high end tank. You need to do that for corals like that. Keep the temperature perfect. Keep, you know what I mean? Like, you know, watch your lights not to fail. You can't afford that with corals like that. I learned that over the time. But otherwise, there's no specific, like, you know, where I would say put vanadium in and you will be fine or something. And I think that would be also a bit of a too much magic, you know. Magical potion kind of thing, and I don't like that. So yeah, if that helps you, mate, try. Okay, so you live beside the Great Barrier Great Barrier Reef, but I'll give you a flight from Ireland. Yeah, you do that, mate. Hey, Anya is on. Good morning, Anya. Yeah, early. How's your Sunday? Hope you're happy. Hey guys, so if there's any other questions, shoot them now. I'll just check if there's. Mina is on. Do you make running dual return pumps or large pump for the 10 times turnover? A large pump, Mina. I like a large pump. Sorry guys, on Instagram, I can't get your comments over to my mainstream because I'm doing that over StreamYard right now, and I can't see them, but I can see them on my phone. And Mina, if you're still on, just give me a live sign, because I think your issues with the tank is mainly because you run too much of the different flow and currents in your tank. Like these two pumps you have, they're great, but you can't run every 4 hours a different style of, you know, flow in that tank. You shouldn't do that. Keep your flow constant. Like you can change it, but change it in one way, not the all the time in a different way. So I saw that on your little PDF, which was great. Actually, that was great, Mina. If you're listening, I hope you listen to that right now. That was absolutely great. But the reality is that you know, you can put the pumps up for everybody here. If you create the current, the flow rates in your tank, you put the pumps up, and then you can make them go from one side to the other like this, or you know, you can pump hard both sides and slow down, but you still need to have them doing it constantly constantly the same thing, right? And that's important too. Don't change like every 2 hours. Don't go crazy, you know, and flow is going everywhere. I don't think that's good. Okay, so that's not something that Coral would like. And the other thing is, Mina, that you have them set in a way that they start, you know, circling your surface. And that's not good too, because you want the surface to go into your rear box, right? So you don't want it to be circling on top and actually creating a little, you know, cyclone in your tank, and that's not good too. So definitely I'll try to reach you if you're not here anymore, um to check on that with you. Okay, so I think that's one of the main issues we have in your tank. Uh, so I forgive you. Yeah, that's Diver Kevin. Thank you, mate. So I'm waving back on Instagram. But guys, one more time, I can't see your comments on there, right? So just make sure you're commenting on here. Okay. Oh, so is it best to start the skimmer straight away when cycling? Yes, skim everything on. Lucas, when you're cycling, everything is on. Your lights are running, everything. This is it. You start everything. And it's just like a tank, like you would put a coral in right away, and everything just that's the way. Looks okay. And then give it a week and you put even the algae into your sump. Okay, just do that. It should be fine. Okay, any tips on what light spectrum to use for refugium LED lights? Red, white, purple, yeah. Should I start it off low intensity and ramp it up? No. First off, you should use, if you can, I'm still fan of T5s over refugium. So no LED over the refugium. T5s are making a better light for algae, in my opinion. They have a fuller spectrum, and you go blue and white T5, you're absolutely fine. And I have that over my tank now, and I have it, and I had it in my tank, in my old tank. So this is the way it works, right? I even have a metal halide right now, Joseph. So that works really well too. But I'm not using LEDs on my refugium because that's algae are more relying on light than even coral, right? So just to make sure you understand the importance of that spectrums, and to get the right spectrum, you'll go this older technology, which is much better for them, in my opinion. So that's kind of the thing that I would recommend to you. Don't use LED. Okay. If you have what questions still you want to use LED, you need to have a really good LED light. So there's one thing that Aquakiller. So Louise uses the little packs. What they're called? If Aquakiller's still there, just Louise tell us what they're called. It's like the X4 in a little like round pack. I think they're Pixel. They're called Pixel. Magic Pixel. They work for Louise very well over Refugium. You can try them. If you really want to go LED. So laminar surge flow more than random chaotic flow. Yes, not too much random chaotic. Like I can take it, Nick, for I don't know, 1 hour a day or something. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Or 2 hours a day, so you get like little areas, some flow, but not all the time. And that's just not all totally random. That's too much. So thanks again, my English. I'm glad you understood what I meant. Yeah, no problem. If I did, if not, just keep asking, so I answer your question at the end. I don't mind, mate. You know, my English is not that good too. I don't think any language is good anymore. Like no German, no Farsi, no. Anyway, we'll see. My kids always laugh about my English, right? So you're right. Yeah, Fragmama. Yeah, Pixel. That's it. Yeah, Fragmama. Thank you. Okay, about the flow, what do you think about flow boxes like from Tansi? Yep, the most recent inventor. I see you have a closed system on the Triton tank. Recommend the over. No, I actually like the search ones too, like the boxes. We're talking flow right now, so that was an Instagram question. The boxes that create that kind of wavy thing. I actually like them. They're not too bad. Um, I I don't have them. I tried them. But sometimes they're making a bit too much, and then a tank overflows a bit. That was in my case the thing. There is a frequency that causes an issue. But no, they're actually okay. That's not chaotic flow, man. That's chaotic flow is like when you turn on one pump, then 5 seconds later the other pump, and it's just chaotic. That's not what I like. But the rest is okay. That's pretty good, Diver Kevin, and it's proven to work too. A lot of big aquariums have that bucket. You know the bucket, like they're tipping a bucket in there to create the same kind of situation where a lot of water comes in in one go, and that works too. That's something that Coral like too. It's not a bad thing at all. So perfect. Okay, Magic Pixie. Yep. Aquascaper Spectrum. Yep. All right. Ethan. Okay. One day I'll convert you to pixel LEDs. We need to do a contest on who can grow the faster macro. All right, Luis. Taken. Not on my tank now. I'll do another tank. Another tank. Home tank. My tank here at home. I'll do that. Promised. Okay? We'll do this. I like it. I like it. Always competition. Always no competition. Okay, guys. Anybody else has a question? We are actually 1 hour in now. It's pretty good. And yeah, I think it could be better if Instagram would have, access to this comments, or maybe I'll do like 2 separate ones. We'll see what happens next. I obviously, that's really hard to go back and forth, and I don't want anybody to not use the one platform they actually like to. So the idea was here to get everybody the place they love, and then leave them there. But now obviously Instagram's playing up a bit. Can someone put the name of LED Refugium Light East Records Facebook comments, please? Oh yeah, it is called Illumagic Pixel. Illumagic Pixel. It's like the X-Force, Lucas. Illumagic X4. So the brand is Illumagic, and the model is Pixel. Or that's for the Refugium, yeah. Yeah. If you want to go LED. If you don't want to go LED, just go T5, Lucas. Just go T5. T5 blue and white. Just a blue T5, standard blue T5, and a white one. Okay. Yes. So okay, guys, I think yes, that's it. Yeah. Here you go. Pixel Aquascaper. They're saying Aquascaper because they have 3 colors, Lucas. I think they come in 3 colors, and the Aquascaper is the one that you should use, they say. I've not done that though, Lucas. I'm using T5, just to let you know. All right. So, but the boys are doing it very happily. They're very happy with them. Okay. So, any other question? Have I forgot somebody? Any question I forgot, guys? Can you have a look? Okay. Diver Kevin is asking, can you make a technical video about the equipment you have and reason you choose it? Yeah, sure. I will definitely do that. Tech. We call that the tech updates. So we definitely do that. I'm planning it with the pumps. I'm planning with the lights. So right now I set up the lights in the correct way. I also will share over the Illumagic app our setting, so you know what we're running right now. And I turned it a little bit bluer right now too, just to test something out. Yeah, now I'll definitely do that every little bit. No problem at all, Diver Kevin. Definitely, there's a lot of videos coming from there. So Ryan is showing off with his tank. I think he's sending me stuff. That's all right. I'm not going to look at it, Ryan. I'm just joking. All right. Okay, guys, if there's no other question. Oh, here you go. Joseph has the last question. So I'm using the AI Fuge over the Refugium. Can't use T5 due to space constraint. Yep. However, I can play with the red, white, and UV channels. Should I have all of the colors at full intensity? I think so, Joseph. I think so. Do it. You need to try it. I honestly, I've never tried it, and I would need to have, used them to give you exact advice on it. And I never used these lights, so I would run them in full always, because what is the problem with T5 is with LED compared to T5 is that LEDs are having a very slim spectrum. So when they're red, they're only red. When they're blue, they're only blue. Like they have a very like peaky kind of spectrum. And that's an issue, Joseph, because you may not hit the right spectrum for the right algae, right? You know what I mean? And that's the issue you have. So going a lot of light over a lot of spectrum is the best you can do, in my opinion. So you try that. And then if it works for you, it's good. You know, that's what I can give you right now. I can't give you more than that. Yes, you're joining the blue tank mafia. Very slowly, Luis. Very slowly. I've just very slowly gone there. You can't- yeah, maybe. Let's see. There's my wife still, Luis. You need to convert her too. If you convert me, you need to convert her. It's gonna be hard, I'll tell you. So, thank you. It's been extremely helpful. No worries, mate. I'm always here on Sundays for you guys. So whenever you have a question, don't forget to come over here. Um, I'm just saying, no problem, Joseph. I would not use the AI Fusion Light because not full spectrum. It's only red and blue with only a few white LEDs. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Luis. I've never had them. So, um, Lucas, you hear that? You just make sure you know you need to play with them. Yes, guys. So I will wrap this up now. Thank you very much. It was great. So next time we possibly try this again. Just stay tuned. I like actually the format. I like to be on my computer because that's making it very easy to get every question. But we need to kind of be able to incorporate the Instagram questions. So I will try to figure that out with Dita. But I thank you all very, very much for joining. And I also need to now figure out how to wrap this up as a video and post it because that's going to be different too. But I'll end the stream now. Thank you very much, guys, and see you maybe on the videos and next Sunday. Okay? Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye bye.